Mm-hmm. Hey, how's it going there, officer? What's your
How
name?
you doing?
What's your name and your badge number?
Officer Bush, 4680.
Thank you so much for being professional. What's your name and badge number, sir?
Officer Hines, 04918.
Thank you so much for being professional.
I asked the young man if he needed anything when I realized that he was reporting my customers, and I'm like, I don't appreciate that. If it's anything to help you with, go ahead and let me know what you need. And he just continued recording. And the young lady that was sitting over here in line queue, she was getting uncomfortable, you know, when they're customers. And
Totally
so that's not okay. It's not appropriate. So please can you leave the property?
Okay.
Since you are not conducting any postal business. So he refused to do so.
Okay,
I
well,
felt the need for you guys to come on by.
sounds like you need to leave the property or we're going to take you to jail.
The video begins by setting the purpose clearly, educating the public on constitutional rights and how to assert them when confronted by authority. Almost immediately, an officer initiates contact with a civilian whose only action is filming in public. Instead of respecting protected activity, the officer frames recording as suspicious behavior, signaling a familiar pattern where lawful expression is treated as justification for enforcement.
Well, come over here. Over here. Okay. Watch this. Over here. This is.
Are you willing to press charges?
Listen.
If it
We have
isn't
to. Yes, sir.
Check this out.
Excellent.
We,
All right.
you know, we can't have
Can we get a
anything on
supervisor?
the
Can we
We
get
can
a,
talk outside.
no, right here? Listen, no. This is poster 7. This is the rules and
But she
regulations.
said you're not conducting any postal business.
Listen to me, sir.
Okay, let's talk outside.
But this is the rule.
Come on. There you go.
Listen,
What
look
is
at
your
this.
vehicle?
Look at this. That's the rules and regulations saying I can't record, sir. You didn't. You skipped.
But you're not-
I was just
you're
trying
not
to show.
conducting
I did. I asked him for a passport. I left and gave the lady her own personal space.
That's not what
you
you're
just
telling
grabbed my arm. I
Yes,
got
ma'am.
everything on camera.
Uh-huh.
Can we
Yes,
get a
so do I.
supervisor? Can we get a supervisor out here, please?
Well,
Please.
you need to leave.
This is public property.
No,
That's
it's
a
not.
lobby.
No, it is not. This
Listen,
is a private
This is
business.
actually a private
Li-
entity.
li-
I know it says United States Postal Service, but
Listen,
it's actually a private entity.
You're told to leave. You do not leave.
Listen real quick, sir.
Are you refusing to leave now?
I'll under threat of arrest, I'll leave. But listen,
Okay, good.
But
Go.
listen, there's a poster 7 in there that says I have the. Just go look, sir. Can you please go look?
But here's the one thing I do know. I understand if this was a government building. I understand if this was a police station. I understand all that on a government building. Yes.
And one more thing, sir. You know, right now I'm doing a protected act.
What follows is a rapid escalation. Postal staff claim discomfort, and officers respond not by assessing legality, but by threatening arrest. Despite no crime being identified, the civilian is ordered to leave under threat of jail. The distinction between public property and private discomfort becomes blurred, revealing how vague claims are often used to suppress constitutionally protected conduct.
No, First Amendment, freedom of the press. This is freedom of the
You've been
press.
told to leave. You refuse to leave.
That was our first time ever saying to leave, sir. I got everything on camera.
Right, but the United States Postal Service actually is a private entity. It's not. I understand it says government, United States Postal Service, but it's actually a private entity.
Okay.
So it's not like.
And can we get a supervisor, please? I'm gonna go stand on the sidewalk,
We've
but.
got a supervisor in the
But,
room.
and I'm gonna go stand on the sidewalk because you did tell me to leave. But when I go stand on the sidewalk, can you please? That's the rules and regulations of postal property. There's a section for photos and photography. Can you please read that? It says I can take it in the foyer, lobbies, entrances.
Okay.
It's right there. I'm gonna go stand there. We're gonna wait on your supervisor, and they're gonna let you guys know. Wow, man, you put your hands on me. That's an assault, man. If I haven't committed a crime, you can't walk me out. You can't put your hands on nobody. Ooh, buddy. Ooh, buddy. How you doing, sir? You sergeant?
As the civilian attempts to explain Poster 7 regulations, clearly permitting photography in postal lobbies, officers refuse to listen. Instead of reviewing posted federal rules, an officer physically grabs the civilian and forces him out. This moment marks a critical shift. A lawful interaction becomes an alleged assault, captured clearly on camera, without probable cause or legal justification.
Yes, sir.
Sergeant Turner, how may I help you?
Hey, can I get your name and badge number of post just for the record?
My name? I just told you. My name
I
is
couldn't hear with the
I'm
wind.
Sergeant Turner. My badge number is 4944, serial number.
Yes, sir. I came in here today just to kind of get some public information. I know I have every right to record in here. It's actually have a poster 7 in there with the rules and regulations on postal property, saying that photos and photography may be taken in the lobbies, foyers, and corridors.
Okay.
Clear as day. Right when I walked in, the lady she triggered the issue. She said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I said, "I'm just recording." She's like, "Well, you can't record here." You can't record my customers. She said, this lady do not want to be recorded. The lady didn't even say nothing yet. But I even left the building just to give the lady her privacy, which I really don't even have. I didn't have to do that. Anything I see in public, I can record. That was just a little lobby. I wasn't going to be in there that long. Look how little it is. There's nothing in there. But I did ask them for a passport. They let me know I have to go to another building. I couldn't even get public information to ask them. I'm just documenting as I'm handling my business. These gentlemen, I forget his name, but he actually grabbed me and pulled me out the office. Not even letting me show him the rules and regulations on postal property. This is a First Amendment protected activity. You cannot turn that into a crime. You and the postal people took an oath to uphold the Constitution.
When a supervising sergeant arrives, the civilian calmly lays out the facts. He explains the regulations, the lack of interference, and the officer's physical contact. Unlike earlier responses, the sergeant listens. For the first time, the conversation turns toward the law rather than authority, highlighting how accountability often only appears once higher supervision is present.
And you pulled me out the building, sir, when I'm telling you I have the right to do so.
You weren't leaving when you were told.
I don't have to leave. They can't make me leave just because I got a black shirt on. I have to commit a crime for you to make me leave this property.
They ask you to leave.
They can't just ask me to leave. No, it's not. That's not how trespass works, sir. If I'm at the police department, you can't just say, hey, leave. I have to commit some type of crime.
Or if you're causing the disturbance,
I didn't cause
people feel uncomfortable.
I did.
That's another
Come on,
other
Sarge.
situation.
Come on, Sarge. Now, I'm not making nobody uncomfortable by recording. You can't turn protected activity
On that,
into a crime.
You're absolutely right. You can record anybody you want.
And I didn't say
You're not
nothing.
Interfering with anybody's
I'm not
work or anything like that.
They came out to me.
Okay. All right.
It's a little lobby, sorry. Once you walk in there, you see it's little. It's nothing too much you can do or say. I just had a couple questions. I was in there 20 seconds and the lady ran out to me. 20 seconds.
You got that on your phone?
I got that. See, the lady was outside. She was outside getting something out somebody's car. So when I walked in, she came in right behind me and was like, hey, what are you doing? You can't record. So, and what's your name again? Your name and badge number?
Officer Bush, 4682.
Bush put his hands on me and pulled.
The sergeant acknowledges a crucial point. Recording in public spaces is lawful and protected. He confirms that filming alone does not constitute a crime. However, the discussion shifts toward discomfort and impeding business, concepts frequently misused to justify removal. The civilian repeatedly clarifies that he was silent, non-obstructive, and present for mere seconds.
Put me out the office.
Yes, it did. Because you
They
refused to
wanted
leave
you
when I
to
told
leave,
you.
but I'm going to go talk. I haven't talked to the manager. So I'm gonna go
Okay. And you gotta let him know, just because they want me to leave minus a crime, that you can't do that.
Trespassing is a crime.
Trespassing is a crime, but I wasn't trespassing. You gotta commit a crime first. You gotta commit a crime first, sir. 25 years, and you ain't got that. Was you able to see poster 7?
Say again?
Was you able to see the rules and regulations on the wall?
Did you also see the rules about disorderly conduct and if you're impeding customers doing
I didn't
business?
say nothing to nobody, sir. Right when I walked in, the lady, she came outside. So right when I came in, she came right behind me. I didn't even know who she was. She just started talking to me. She could have been a customer. I don't know. Once I noticed that the lady was really just uncomfortable, I went outside so she could handle her business. And then just came back. And I only hung around because they said they was calling you guys.
Right now you're on sidewalk anyway. You're on public property. And here's the deal. In that foyer is public property. You're correct about that. But the issue is when you're making customers uncomfortable, that's a prohibited act, which is on that rules and regulations.
Despite acknowledging First Amendment protections, the sergeant introduces conditional enforcement, suggesting that subjective discomfort could justify intervention. The civilian pushes back, explaining that personal feelings do not override constitutional rights. The tension illustrates a recurring issue: lawful activity reinterpreted as disorderly conduct when officials feel challenged or scrutinized.
Regulations. If you're impeding any business, any customers doing business, that's a prohibited act. That's on that rules and regulations.
This is a First Amendment protected activity. You cannot turn a First Amendment protected activity into a crime. That's public property. I'm not saying nothing. I can record. Your feelings don't overrule my constitutional right. So if you're uncomfortable with me recording you and we're in public, you go to Disneyland with your Disneyland with your kids and you about to take a picture. You gonna make everybody behind you sign a waiver? They uncomfortable being on your
Let me read the actual word.
Come on, Sergeant. Come on, get him. This is public. This is public. This is public
You're right, it
property.
is a public building, but if you're making people uncomfortable, I'll read this to you so you can get it all on your disorderly conduct.
I'm not
Conduct
impeding
that
it.
creates loud or unusual noise, or which impedes entrance or departure to post offices, or otherwise obstructs the usual use of
I didn't do none of
entrances, foyers, corridors,
I didn't do none of
offices,
that.
elevators, stairways,
None of that.
parking lots, or which otherwise tend to impede or disturb the public.
I didn't do none of that.
You just said in your own words that you
I
made
didn't-
that gal uncomfortable.
I didn't do none of that.
Which is their right to do, in order to ensure that the post office operates as well as it can. Now you're out here, you can record all you want. We can't keep you from going back in there now once we leave. But again, if you continue to do the acts that make people uncomfortable, make the workers and make the public in general uncomfortable when they go in there.
As the exchange continues, the contradiction becomes undeniable. Officers confirm the space is public, confirm recording is legal, yet continue to defend removal based on perception rather than statute. The civilian demands equal accountability, noting that public servants must identify themselves while private citizens are not obligated to do the same without lawful cause.
To conduct their business, I'm
a
sure we're going to be
prohibited
called
activity.
back out here. And then we'll call the postal inspector and have them come and take care of this.
Okay.
Okay?
And again, one more thing, you guys.
You already have his info?
No, we've not.
You just want to give it?
Yeah,
Do you want to provide us your information?
Am I obligated? Okay. So can I go back in
It's
there?
only fair since you got all our information.
You're public. You're a public servant. I'm private.
Back on settle.
He said I can go back in there. He said he finna leave.
we can't stop at this point. I mean, that's right.
Damn, look at this dude.
Like I said.
Wow, man, this. Oh, man, he wanted to make an arrest so bad. Wow.
The video closes with a sobering conclusion. Ego, not law, drove the initial confrontation. Only knowledge, calm persistence, and documentation prevented an unlawful arrest. The message is clear. Rights are meaningless unless exercised. These encounters underscore why public awareness matters, why recording is essential, and why unquestioned authority remains the greatest threat to civil liberties.